Good morning, folks. It's the real Captain Kirk here. It is the 25th of May, a very early Memorial Day. It is also day 69 remote for us. And again, as Forrest Gump said, that's all we have to say about that here today. God bless everyone that served in wars. Again, these are some of the folks that gave the ultimate sacrifice here over the last 100 plus years. 626,000, 319,000 folks that have died for our freedoms. So again, God bless every one of them. Looking at La Nina, again, we definitely can see it coming here. And this chart on the right is kind of neat. So what this is showing you is a cross-section of the Equatorial Pacific Ocean from way out as if we were Australia all the way over toward Peru. Again, so it's a central Equatorial Pacific region. Then we're looking below the surface of the water with buoys that are measuring how cold or warm the water is. And again, what you can see here is this explosion of La Nina, cooler than normal water temperature. So it's very warm, El Nino-ish. This big blob of cold subsurface water temperatures bubbling to the surface. If we look at the map right here, we can actually see that going from a weak El Nino collapsing phase, and then you see those waters cooling in that black box area there, where they're getting more La Nina-like. So it's very clear we are headed for La Nina, getting very close as we speak here. Looking at these are the ocean temperatures versus a year ago, same date. Again, so you can see that the Equatorial Pacific is much, much colder. Even off of Mexico, and even here in the Northeast, the waters are much, much colder. Again, still above average, but much colder than a year ago. The main tropical Atlantic, however, is much warmer than a year ago. So very concerned. Again, all signs point that La Ninas are typically catastrophic hurricane seasons in the U.S., and if you've been watching our logs here over the last 6 months, we've been talking about that. So very active hurricane season here ahead. One thing that's not so active here is this tornado season here in the U.S. It's actually now 1% below average. So not to say we haven't had some tornadoes, obviously. We've had about 685 according to the Storm Center. But compared to last year, that's actually down 18%. And compared to the really active year back in 2011, we're actually down 55%. So again, about a statistically average tornado season here across the U.S. Getting some activity down in Texas here the next couple days, but nothing too terrible. Looking at the other thing that's kind of expanding here is dry to drought-like conditions. This time last year we were at historic lows for drought. Only 9% of the country had dry to drought-like conditions, so it's anemic to say the least. This year that's expanding. We're actually already at 36% that are in D0 to D4, so the yellows are just in the dry phase, and obviously getting the oranges and reds, we're in a more severe drought. You see signs of it expanding into the Central Plains, and we do believe that this will go to 50% dry to drought coverage by year's end, certainly in the fall, and then we may even top 60% as we get into 2021 by spring next year. So definitely La Ninas, among other cycles, certainly can lead to a drier drought-like cycle, and that's a pretty big change after 4 or 5 years of pretty wet conditions here across the U.S. Looking at this week overall, we see that the country is about 0.9 degrees warmer than last year, 7th warmest in 35 years, and much above average national temperatures. Texas, again, cool. A lot of that's just due to cool for Texas. That's still hot, but cool due to all that rain that you see there in Texas on the left. Wettest in 5 years nationally. 3rd wettest in 35 years, so much above average national precip. So pretty warm here. We're actually going to see many, many days in a row here, 3, 4, 5 days in a row of near 80-degree temperatures here outside 360 studios. So that's we're actually kind of looking forward to that after some pretty gloomy weather here. Looking at next week, 1 through 7 June, the first full week of June, it's on the hot side. So 1.8 warmer than last year, making it the second hottest start to June in 35 years. Very, very hot weather out there in the Northern Rockies Plains, but that will be spreading into the Midwest as we go through next week. Wettest in 4 years, 6th wettest in 35 years. So again, a bout of heavier rain there in the Ohio Valley, and may even see some rain out there in the pretty parched South Rocky Mountains. They definitely need it as well. So with that, folks, we hope you have a great week, and we will be back here this time next week.